computer. All right. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming to Digital PNA. As I blind out my complexion here, let's go to the quick screen. Digital PNA, as always, it's 100% online, 100% connected with a new level of exposure. For those of you who don't know what that means, we've got 11 chapters, physical chapters located throughout the Pacific Northwest. This is the only one that's not only dedicated to being 100% online, but also you're not trapped. You don't have to have a particular zip code that you market to only, or a brick and mortar if you're already selling or working or coaching or shipping online, or want help with syndication. That's what we're here for. So we did just have another guest pop on. Welcome. And I'm going to skip ahead here. This is me. No one needs to see my bobblehead for longer than 5 seconds. I'm the president for the year. Moving on. These are the members of the Digital PNA chapter. As always, we want to see it grow. So aside from our guests who are here today, thank you for coming. If you know of any businesses that want to connect on really kind of a cool new level and experience, like some of you for maybe for the first time will experience today, that's what we're doing here. But these familiar faces are already represented on the screen in live versus Memorex. And if you're old enough to know what Memorex is, I apologize. Looking for some volunteers here. This is could be new to some people, but we're looking for someone to, during the meeting today, you can literally do a screenshot, snag a photo, do a screen grab, turn, hold up your camera, do a selfie, something along those lines. We use this for marketing, plus it's fun because we often catch people with resting Zoom face. It's a thing, people. Remember, it's scary. We won't judge you, at least not to your face. But can I get a volunteer to be the photographer for the day? And I now have to scroll here back and forth to see if anyone else is volunteering. I don't see anyone. Someone hold your hand up. If not, I'm going to call on people.
I'll do it.
Mara,
but
thank you.
But I do want, one of these times, I want you to show me how to turn my background red and yellow so that I can be the timer.
Oh, I can send you those backgrounds. Yeah, yeah. We're cool.
One of these days.
All right.
But I can be a photographer.
Thank you, Mara. Okay, so the tracker, I need someone to volunteer for that, someone who listens for quotables today, if someone's dropping data, dropping numbers.
I'll do that, Brian.
Okay, Marcel's got that. Thank you. The doodler. The doodler, it does not sound like a symptom, hopefully. It's someone who might, well, I wish I had handy Mike's drawing last meeting. It was,
no, you don't.
It was sheer terror.
I love being the doodler. I have to leave early, so that sort of cramps my doodling style, but I can't more highly recommend it to everybody else.
I just like tons of fun. I just love the fact that he used the word doodle and doodler and doodling all in one sentence string.
So mad doodler.
I saw Heath raise his hand.
What's that?
I think Heath raised his hand for doodler.
Heath raised his hand. He might have just yawned, but maybe we should just say yes.
Sorry, my audio was off. Yes, I've done this before. I have fun with the doodles. They're therapeutic for me.
So Heath will be.
I need lots of that.
There we go. And for our two guests who are on the line, trust me, this is a business meeting. May not sound like it right now, but there's a point to our madness. I will be the timer today because I do have the colored backgrounds, which sounds odd right now. But point is, our speaker will get the yellow at 10 minutes and then the red background at a minute left, giving them a minute to wrap up. So we're going to now do 60-second commercials around the room. I'll time with that as well because we have a few new faces today. You don't have to follow this format necessarily, but if you have a specific ask about your business, feel free to come out with that. People can provide feedback in the chat screen, or you can simply clarify what you do, how you do it. Do you have competition? Maybe what separates you from everyone else. Now I get to kill the share screen and get back to everyone's lovely bobbleheads. I'm going to put the list of who's going what in what order in the chat screen. But while that happens, I'm going to put Mike on the spot.
Oh my gosh.
And give his
commercial. Are you kidding me?
First. But this is the way to actually just allow me to stall so I can actually write in all of those names that I just mentioned. So go for it.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you very much, Brian. So I got a question for everybody. And whoever gets this question right gets a free book of lists, which is a publication of my company, which is the Puget Sound Business Journal. So can anybody name one of the top 3 private companies in Washington State? Now I ask that because this week's Puget Sound Business Journal carries that list. Each week, the Puget Sound Business Journal has a list in it. Those lists cover things like private companies or biggest nonprofits. 52 a year, they get aggregated into a book at the end of the year. The Puget Sound Business Journal is designed to be a resource for business people like you to understand the landscape of the business in the Puget Sound area. Anybody have a guess? One of the top 3 or 4?
Phillips.
Nope.
Fully?
Nope. Not. Those are private companies.
Private.
Oh, okay.
Oh, why did I
So-
think Phillips?
So I'm gonna. My time is up. Top, and I will make sure when I talk to each one of you personally, you do get a book of lists. So everyone's a winner. Salt Chuck, which is
Really?
the old Foss.
Okay.
Zones, then Darigold, and
Oh.
then Slalom.
Wow. Mike, I used to work for Zones when there was PC Zone.
Is
and
that right? No kidding. Yeah.
Not proud of that. All right. Here is the window or the chat screen that shows the order of who's up next and so on and so forth. Karen, let's hear from you.
Well, I am the speaker today, so I'll just go a little bit into what I do. I own KK Financial Solutions. I'm an independent financial advisor. What does that mean? That means that I can do things that a lot of big firms, advisors aren't allowed to do. And I branched out because I wanted to help my clients with some different things that a lot of financial advisors don't help with. So I do not only financial advising, assets under management, but I do financial planning. I do business valuations. So if there's companies that are looking to either sell or buy a business, I can do that. And then I have people that I can help hook you up with to complete those transactions. I help divorced women with the financial piece. And I also do kind of a holistic approach. So I do the long-term care insurance and annuities to, if that's something that's appropriate for you. So Karen Kearney with KK Financial Solutions, I got the red light.
Great job, Karen.
Is that me?
That's you, my man.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Heath Pierce. I'm a business performance advisor. I work for a company called Insperity. I'm also a professional weightlifter, and what I do is I lift the heavy weights of administrative and compliance burdens off of employers that have employees. One of my other roles in this job is I'm a professional hat rack. So for those business owners that are wearing too many hats, I'll take some of those and wear them myself. A good referral for me is any business that has employees. Because what I do is I help those companies run better, grow faster, and make more money. I would appreciate if any of you know a business owner, if you could make an introduction. I don't go out and make a sales pitch. I go out and just get to learn about them. And if there's something I can do to help them, that's great. If not, I've just made a new contact, and so have they. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Before I go red.
Okay, I guess I'm after Heath. My name is Mary Hilton, and I'm the owner of Sound Care Agency. We focus on 2 primary arms of our business. One is employer-sponsored backup care, or we can also work with families privately, mostly for in-home childcare. We also do in-home adult companion care. We work with 200 large employers here in the area to provide backup care to their employees. All the big tech firms offer it. And then we also work with families privately if they are looking to hire a nanny. We've actually started to grow that side of the business drastically over the last couple of months. So if families are looking to hire an in-home caregiver and they don't have time and they don't know how to go about it, or they have done it themselves and they understand how long that can take and how important it is to make sure that you're asking the right questions and qualifying the nannies before they come in and watch your children. That's what we do. Mary Hilton, the Sound Care Agency.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amy Dennis with Silver Age Senior Living Advisors. I work with older adults and their families to help them find their long-term care senior living options, and anything from independent living, assisted living through adult family homes. And we will take folks through coaching them through planning in advance to moving in to their new homes. So we serve the Puget Sound region, and some of our advisors serve out into the eastern half of the state, and we're working on building our peninsula communities as well. One thing that sets Silver Age apart is that we have a tailored database that allows us to search by unique criteria per the family specification. If their family has a very specific needs around, they only eat organic food and use natural cleaning products, we can search for senior living communities that tailor to that, and a host of other things, but that's just one example. So Amy Dennis, Silver Age.
Awesome. Great job, Amy. And good to see everybody here. Marcy, I'm so glad you made it. And Christina, welcome. I'm so happy you guys are here. My name is Marcel. I run a company called Dreamosity. It's a social media management and training company. And I'm all about helping the remarkable leader, the visionary, the author, somebody with a perspective that is dynamic and unique and needs to be out there in front of tens of thousands of people. So be thinking this week of people who have something really cool going on. Really important projects. They're revved up, they're fired up, they've got great things going on. Those are the people I want to, the ones who have something that's ready for the marketplace. So if you know somebody that's super on fire for what they do, please reach out, marcel@dreamosity.com, or visit dreamosity.com/schedule to get on my calendar. Have a wonderful week, and I'm so happy to be here.
All right, I am next. So my name is Rosie, and the name of my company is called TAP Services, which stands for Taxes, Accounting, and Payroll. And what we provide is actual financial bookkeeping for small businesses, medium size, large size. And what I like to say sets us apart is I am actually trying to get my enrolled agent's license. And so I prepare the financials according to what a CPA actually will want. So it makes tax preparation a lot easier down the road for a lot of the clients. As an example, one of my clients is auto dealership, and they have financials that they need every single quarter. They decided to outsource and relieve some of the work from their operations manager because she couldn't keep up, with all the bookkeeping and everything else, because the bank was requiring quarterlies, every quarter. So I took over and things are running a lot smoother. So if you know anybody that needs financials, yes, Brian, done on a timely manner, let them know about my company, Rosie with TAP Services.
Oh, and Marcy, come off mute. I think you got muted maybe.
Okay, I'm next. Good afternoon, everybody. Good to be here. Marcel invited me a little bit ago, and I'm just getting set up here with information for you. My company is Sea Green Financial. That's SEAGRWN Financial. And what I do is I provide funding for small and medium-sized businesses. If you're looking to buy a business and you need some funding, if you need to expand your business and you need some funding, if you're expanding your business and you're buying equipment, we can provide funding for you. If you're buying a house, if you're an investor and buying real estate, we can help you with that. Long-term, short-term, medium-term. Short-term is usually a year, 12 months or under. And I've been around for eons. And I'm delighted to be here and meet all of you. And I can tell right now that some of you are usually I would see my face up, but I see Marcel looking at me and smiling. But I can see that that you people really have it together in what you provide. And I can see us exchanging information and being helpful to each other. So thank you for inviting me, Marcel, and I'm glad to be here and look forward to connecting with all of you at some point. Thank you, Marcy Green of Sea Green Financial.
All right, well, I guess it's my turn. Hi guys, thank you all for having me. I'm here on behalf of the owner. His name is Rob. My name is Christina, and so Rob's company is Outdoor Lighting Perspectives, and we cover the Puget Sound and North Sound territory. So that's from Canada all the way down to Kent. We provide outdoor lighting, event lighting, temporary holiday lighting, and then permanent roof line lighting, and then also maintenance and repair. So we can service any existing outdoor lighting system that you already have and also add on to it. So it's a full service outdoor lighting company. And so, yeah, we're glad to be a part of this. I'm sorry that Rob couldn't make it. He's actually traveling right now, so I'm here on his behalf. But we look forward to connecting with all of you guys, and we feel like this is a great opportunity to also learn about other people's businesses and be able to promote as well. And so thank y'all for having us.
All right, I feel like I need to like beat everyone's commercial, but definitely not. Hi everyone, Brian Trendler. Yes, I do own PNA Northwest. Thank you for being here, especially in this digital format. But I also co-run a company called Laugh Tech with Marcel Allen. Laugh Tech stands for Learn About Funny Techniques. We literally work with people who are boring, work with people who are not getting visibility that they need to online with their video or with their marketing, with their efforts. If you're a leader and you're not leadering, if you're a salesperson and not selling, if you're a manager and you're not managerialing, whatever, we can get you to become better at what you're already doing great. And if you do it with humor in some way, shape, or form, you become more likable, more listenable, more watchable, and ideally more ROI-able. And for those of you who've heard me say this ad nauseum, as you can tell, we're very scientific-ish. We make up words, but you have fun doing it in the form of one-to-one engagement sessions, two-to-one engagement sessions, if you want Marcel and I to take care of your every possible speaking need. And you'll never realize you're having fun doing it, because when you are having fun, you're learning, you're retaining more, you're retaining faster, and you become better at what you do. We love our jobs, and we're looking for boring people for you to refer to us. So there we go. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for playing along with the commercials. You might have thought you're done, but no, you're not. We're actually going to go back around now. And the reason why we do this is not to mess with your heads, but we like having a tangent, basically, that we work in and then discuss in general. And we do have a very specific tangent today. And of course, now with the joy of technology, I'm still stalling. They bring up multiple screens here. We want to hear, how long was your most recent video? Hopefully, all of you are creating some form of video content in any way, shape, or form. If not, you might have a very different answer. But in this case, length, well, I can't believe I'm going to say this. Length matters when it comes to video. So let's be very specific there. I want to hear, how long was your most recent video? And I'm going to actually change it up just a smidge. I want Marcel to share first as far as why, in this case, this tangent came about. So Marcel?
Yeah, so we're learning that watch time is really important, and yet sometimes a shorter video you can get rewarded. So just in the last week, I've done 2 videos under 12 seconds, and within like 4 hours, over 1,000 views. And I'm just blown away, you guys, on Instagram. I have one 7-second video that's at 1,400, and literally a goofy one that my nephew, who was 12, recorded for me, already at 1,500 plus and growing. So there is a trend right now I'm noticing, and I want to share this with you all, of short micro content. Doesn't have to be a TED Talk. It can literally be 5, 7, 12 seconds. So just be encouraged by that, but take note of your video time. I'm curious what you all have to share.
So Mike, you're up. We're back on the tangent list.
Oh my gosh, it just keeps going and going and going. So this is a video that I did not create. In fact, it was created by our San Francisco office. And in fact, we don't really put it out via social media, but we do use it as a sales tool. It's usually attached to an email. It's usually something, and it has proven to get a lot of terrific positive response. It's a testimonial video. a client talking about the aforementioned book of lists. It's 1 minute and 16 seconds long. And in looking at it, it could be better, it could be more exciting, and in reality, it certainly could be something that we use as a foundation for slicing and dicing and come up with smaller 10, 15-second videos that are testimonial in nature, book of lists. So the short answer is 1 minute and 16. The longer answer is that's not where we need to be, but at least we have a foundation for it.
We're using the same list? Okay. So I had a company repurpose a long interview that I did into a 1.28 minute reel that's about how to start refunding your retirement. So now that makes me think maybe I should do some smaller clips from that and pull some more things out of it. If you're getting that good of results with it. Here, I thought that 1.28 minutes, that's good. So yeah, so I will look at that. So yeah, long answer, like he said, 1.28. Obviously, I need to go shorter, so.
Okay. So my last video was exactly the perfect amount in length in my head, Marcel. I haven't yet created any video content of my own. My company does produce a lot of testimonials and things of that nature, but some of those are in excess of 5 minutes long. I even find myself checking out mentally in the space of 2 to 3 minutes. So I will defer to the rest of the group who may have done better than I.
Well, Heath, I'll follow you and kind of say the same thing. And I know Marcel's going to be shaking her head because we spent, a few hours together and have videos. I just, haven't posted them yet. I think a lot of it is, I don't like to see myself speaking, but I need to get over that. But yeah, I need to do more. I think one way that we can use it is when we're meeting with families to talk about, how when they go to hire a nanny, how important the little things are, like checking the driving record. Why is that important? And so, as we're going through this process, I'm thinking if we could break those up into 20 different videos and just have them be under 10 seconds long as to why it's important. So I'll get on that.
So a colleague of mine and I are just now getting underway on working on social media with Marcel. Marcel, you'll be very pleased to hear that I was working on my 90-second commercial this morning. I'm biting my nails on it, but we'll get there. I'll figure it out. But we're really excited about the process because we know that it's going to have a really strong impact on getting the word out there about our company and the work that we can do and really in supporting older adults and their families. So yeah, we're just like on the precipice of big things in terms of social media and videos.
All right, I think I'm next. And I have to say, kind of the same thing as Mara and Heath. I did spend time with Marcel and I have not posted anything yet. Same thing. I think I just don't like to see or hear myself on video. So it's something I have to work on.
Marcia, you're up next, Marcia.
I'm
Marcy, excuse me. Sorry.
It's okay. I don't have a video. But I've been listening to some information on videos. And there's a reason to do short videos and there's a reason to do longer videos. Longer would apparently be more than 5 minutes and short would be under 59 seconds. I think for a purpose for TikTok, I believe. So I'm getting my head into that and we'll be working on it. to get further now that I understand some of the basics.
That's great. Thank you, Marcy.
Alrighty, so we're next. And so we've actually started venturing into the videoing. We had our two most recent videos was 23 seconds and the other one was roughly about 30 seconds. So that's as far as we've gotten. Our corporate franchise does release videos. And they've also created, and we seem to be staying in the 16 to 19 range with our corporate videos that they release. I think the most that we have was like a minute and 23. So, but we obviously want to get better at that and continue with our video, especially, you know, as Marcy Green mentioned, for TikTok purposes, and then our YouTube. So definitely want to get better at that.
Outstanding. Thank you. And I, along with everyone else, will treat this like church. It's been how long since I produced a short video? I actually am starting to get comfortable with that 90-second time frame, you know, that that Instagram likes, or Insta, like the cool kids say. Now I'm being told I have to go shorter and shorter and shorter. It's very confusing. But I think the less people see it and hear of me is better. So if we do that 7 to 10 second range, it's going to be great. So I actually have created kind of a honey-do list, for lack of better words, of how I'm going to be doing that with a lot of the content I want to produce. So you'll just have to wait and see. There we go. All right, Marcel, wrap it up with kind of an overall commentary on everyone's admittance to
Yes.
having done
Thank you. And we still love and accept you. This is a safe place for all levels of digital savvy. Part of why we created DigitalPNA was to expand the conversation and get people talking and sharing. So thank you for being transparent and for being bold. And just know that when you guys are ready to do video, there's a team here, people willing to share those for you, which is going to help your reach. And so I think there's that fear of, oh no, what if nobody likes it? Well, because you've got this space, you're going to get some instant likes and shares. So just know that we got your back. And yeah, thanks for being here.
That's great. Thank you, Marcel. Okay, folks, we're going to go ahead and jump into the speaking portion of the meeting, which is a nice way of saying we have a prepared speaker. Her name is Karen Koenig. I am very much looking forward to this because she let it slip that at another networking group, she actually did what a lot of people don't do, is she asked for feedback on what she should talk about, how she should generate hopefully, of course, a very successful presentation for a number of eyes. And today, those eyes are ours. So Karen, can you really quickly give us a favorite hobby now that you live in Arizona? You left us from the Pacific Northwest. You're a trader, but we still love you. It's all about your favorite thing you're doing now in Arizona, aside from stealing our sun.
The favorite thing that we're doing, because the weather is so much better, is we're planning like little day trips on the Harley to go to places that we haven't been. A lot of them in the north because it's so dang hot right here, down here. Today it's only 94, but it was like 111 last week. So.
Oh, you're not selling it. Very good.
Lots of pool time too. Lots of pool time.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. Go ahead and start, but make sure you mention, you know, how long you've been in business in the industry. And then I'll start the timer once it sounds like you're actually going into your presentation, because you're officially the host now, so you can share screen when you're ready.
Okay, so let me do this. I'm moving you to a different screen so I don't have the distraction. Okay, so I am Karen Koenig with KK Financial Solutions, and I have been in business. Started in the financial industry in 2015, 2016, got my licensing and started my own business in 2021. So I've been a financial advisor for quite a bit of time. But prior to that, for those of you that don't know, I spent 26 years in the military. I spent 6 years in aerospace before these 9 years that I've been in financial services. And I wrote a book called Women on Top, How to Win in a Woman's Way, which is about being in these 3 different male-dominated fields. And I've been featured in several different magazines. I've been hosted on several podcasts. And then I was also featured on Cairo 7 there in Washington for being an outstanding woman in business, and was interviewed a few years ago when I still lived there. For those of you that don't know, I'm currently in Arizona. And then recently, last year, won Female CEO of the Year Award 2023. And then also this year, I won the AI Global Media Influential Businesswoman Award of 2024. So all of that just to let you know that I have some experience and I kind of know what I'm talking about. So Marcel's going to be really happy with me today because after this slide, it is all visuals and it should be a good PowerPoint for you. But basically what I'm going to talk about today is financial tips for the average investor. So this is I'm going to tell you how to interpret the market. So interpreting the stock market involves analyzing several factors and data points to make informed decisions. And what I'll do is I'll go over some key steps and concepts to consider and how to interpret the market. And then I'm going to go over how you can protect yourself as an investor, where it involves implementing strategies to manage and mitigate risk while striving to achieve your financial goals. So I'll go over several key strategies to help safeguard your investments. So first one is, how do you interpret the market? A lot of you know about stocks and those different things, but market basics really are things like, what is a stock? A stock is basically you own a share in the ownership of that particular company. So if you own 5 shares of Microsoft or 10 shares of Amazon, that's your ownership in the company. The stock market is basically a collection of markets where stocks, your shares of ownership in the business, are bought and sold. But then there's the stock exchange, which is really just the intermediary that connects buyers and sellers. So there's a difference between the stock market and the stock exchange. And then indices, where these are benchmarks that measure the performance of a group of stocks. So you've probably heard of the S&P 500 index, the Dow Jones Industrial Average Index, the NASDAQ Index. And you have different things, which like ETFs, which are exchange traded funds that mirror those indexes. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, one portion of how to interpret the market. And then you've also heard about analyzing market trends. So I'm sure you've heard about, oh, it's a bull market. Oh, it's a bear market. Well, to put it in simple terms, a bull market is just a period of rising stock prices. That's all it is. And it means that the economy is expanding and the average length is usually around 7 years, but a lot of people fell into the trap of the year 2000 through, 2020, about 2008 to 2020, when we had the crash of COVID, but we had rising prices. That was almost a 14-year bull run, which is very, very something that doesn't happen very often. So people kind of got lulled into this, sense of security of a bull market. And then you've also heard about a bear market, which is just pessimism of the market, and it's a period of declining stock prices. So, and really that's when the economy is contracting. And we're currently in a bear market, and we've been in a bear market for probably about 9 months to a year. But the other thing is market sentiment. So you've probably heard that term, and really what that is just the overall attitude of investments toward a particular market or asset. So that's why you see the stock market rise and fall, because people like Elon Musk will open their mouth and say something about something, and then his stock prices go down or his stock prices go up. So that's kind of a market sentiment. And then another portion on how to interpret what the market's doing is you want to listen to economic and political factors. So interest rates are a big portion of how to interpret the market. You've probably heard about it. The interest rates are set by central banks, and they affect the borrowing costs and spending. So how much you can borrow, how much you can spend. So one of the markets that has really been tapped or a little bit hurt by the interest rates is the mortgage section, where mortgage rates are now around 7%, where about 4 years ago, when I bought a house down here in Arizona, interest rates were anywhere from 2 to 3%, depending on your credit score. So interest rates are really something that you have to pay attention to. Other things are fiscal policies, like government spending and taxation policies. I know that gets a little deep for people, but those are also things on how to interpret the market. And then global events, so geopolitical events, trade agreements, and other international factors. So listening to things like how much money we're sending over to the Ukraine, what's going on with Russia, and how that affects like the international market. So, but again, you have people like me, financial advisors, who can interpret that stuff for you. And then the last thing under how to interpret the market is just some practical steps. So you as an investor, you want to set clear goals. So you want to define your investment objectives. Are you a moderate investor? Are you a growth investor? Are you an aggressive investor? And then you want to know like your time horizon. Hey, I didn't start putting money into savings for my retirement until like 10 years ago. So your time horizon would be a lot shorter than someone who started when in their 20s. And then another portion is your risk tolerance. And that is also how risky do you want your portfolio to be? Like, I'm pretty risky in my portfolios as compared to a lot of my clients. So when they ask me for advice on, well, what should I be doing? I tell them, really, it's kind of up to you. And then I can create a model around that. And then another area on how to interpret the market is do your research. So thoroughly research potential investments. You want to go online, Google it, research maybe the person. Most people know that Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Boeing, those are all good companies to own, because they're companies that have been around for a long time and they have a good financial track record. And then you want to monitor it regularly. So keep an eye on your investments and the market conditions, because you don't want to just set it and forget it. I have some clients that do that, but I really try to get them engaged to understand what they have in their portfolio. And then just be patient. Avoid making impulsive decisions based on short-term market movements. So when you hear all that vibe or stuff about buying Bitcoin and those types of things, just really do your research. I'm not against any of that kind of stuff. Just again, remember, don't put any more than 10% of your portfolio in any one area. Which leads me, so now that you kind of know that a little bit, oops, I need to let somebody in. So now that you know a little bit about how to interpret the market, now I'm going to go into what you can do to protect yourself as an investor. So a lot of people have heard about rebalancing. So I always say that you want to do a regular portfolio review, and really a lot in the compliance world, it's actually required of me to do an annual portfolio review with my clients, because that way I know that they know and understand what's inside of their portfolio. I do it more often with other people. Sometimes it's quarterly, and some of my clients I meet with monthly. So it really is at your preference. So the biggest key is rebalancing. So you want to periodically adjust your portfolio to maintain your desired asset allocation, because funnily enough, even though you invest certain percentages in certain areas, your portfolio goes out of whack as the market changes. So you want to like rebalance it and get it back to what you originally intended the portfolio to do. And then you want to do some performance monitoring, where you want to regularly review the performance of your investments and make adjustments as needed. So I have clients that will say, hey, what about this particular stock? Is that something that I could put into my portfolio to make it get better returns? And then we'll discuss it or not and put it in their portfolio. And then risk assessment. So continually assess the risk level of your portfolio to ensure that it aligns with your goals. I have a client that I just met with last week, and she originally was like a moderate growth, and she likes the returns that she's getting, but she's getting close to retirement within the next 5 years. So she wants to be a little more aggressive, which, wow, it's like she's been my client for a long time, and that's the first time I've ever heard her talk about that. So she has taken the time to learn and take classes from the 401k company that she's with at the company that she works with. So that type of stuff, I applaud people for doing that, because it helps you as an investor. So what else can you do to protect yourself as an investor? You want to have an emergency fund. So a lot of that has to do with liquidity. So you don't want to have all of your money or your portfolio inside of investments, because you want to be able to have access to that in case you have an emergency. So I always say clients should have anywhere from 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses in a liquid, low risk account. So lots of times that will be a money market account where you can make a little bit of money on your money. Sometimes we'll do and put people's money in CDs, like a 3-month CD, because you always have access to your CDs, but if you cash them out too soon, you just don't get the interest on them. And then accessibility. So ensure that the emergency fund is easily accessible in case of your unexpected financial needs, like that day that you blow a tire and you have to go, get a tire repair, or you're in an accident or something like that, and you need money to pay the deductible. So just think about those things, and a lot of people don't think about what is it exactly that I need in my emergency fund. And then another area that you can do is, what can you do is hire professional advice. So back to what I said earlier, consider consulting a financial advisor. You don't necessarily have to be rich to do that, because in this day and age of financial advising or using professional advice, those fees are baked into your portfolio and are taken straight out of your portfolio. And then you'll want someone who gives you tax advice. So you want to seek advice on tax efficient investing and strategies to minimize your tax liabilities. And that's where I, as a financial advisor, work with people like Rosie. I work with CPAs and whoever they are that they use, because you really have to make certain decisions. Maybe you need a bigger tax break for the year, and you can work with me to put more into your SEP or your Simple or your 401k. So just to recap, we talked about 2 different areas, and one is how to interpret the market, and the other one is what you can do to protect yourself. So these are the 8 areas that I talked about. So you want to understand market basics. And if you want to take a picture of this slide, go ahead. You want to analyze the market trends, look at the economic and political factors, do practical steps to understand the market, diversification, portfolio reviews, emergency funds, and then professional advice, because interpreting the stock market is a complex process that requires a good understanding of various analytical methods and economic factors and personal investment goals. So continuous learning, stay informed about the market trends, and global events are crucial for making sound investment decisions. So what's next? If you would like, sign up, take a picture of this, sign up on my calendar for a free 30-minute consultation. I'm happy to sit with you and talk about what your goals are, what you might already have. If you have an old 401k that you want to know what you want to do with it, those 30 minutes or anything that you want to discuss about. And then I would love it if people would follow me on social media. That's my Instagram handle there. I have lots of practical financial tips and things to do without actually giving advice that I put out on my social media. And then my Facebook page is Financially Empowering You 1, and same tips and tricks get posted to the same areas. So thank you for allowing me to present, and we can go into the next area.
Great job, Karen. Thank you. 18 and a half minutes in case you're curious as far as the length of time that you spent.
Oh, I almost did the 20.
Let's open it up for questions. Who has questions for Karen? We don't have to go in any particular order. Just unmute and ask. Let me actually start it off. I do have a question. Karen, I've known you for years, but I don't think I've ever asked this. Will you work with youth? I know you're all powerful and you're in Arizona and you have all this amazing background, but will you work with kids that are certainly not learning this stuff in school? Will you take care of them from their first account, from a trading perspective, from a stocks perspective, and educate them along the way? Or do you have absolute minimums, et cetera, that you need to start working with?
Well, just so you know, kids have to be 18 to actually own an investment account. Now, I know you can be younger than that to be like have a savings or checking account.
Correct.
But I would love to get into like a school or someplace like that where I could start talking to kids of that age group to let them know, here's some things that you can do, because you can have your parents set up like a parent-directed Roth and those types of things where the parents are actually doing the transactions, but the Roth is in the name. It's a minor Roth and it's in their name. They just can't necessarily do the actual trades until they turn 18. But yes, you know, I'm happy to work, and I have in the past worked with a couple of children from my clients. So yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Awesome. So I got a question. So I'm going to a networking event tonight, a little happy hour type of thing. What is your favorite networking question to ask someone to get them to be like, oh, I need a Karen. I need a KK Financial Solutions. Like, what is a good question I can use tonight to find some unsavvy people for you?
That's a good question. Let me think on that and I'll get back to you.
Awkward silence provided by Karen Koenig. Everyone.
Right.
My event starts at 4:30, so we got time.
Yeah.
Well, Karen,
I've just learned that you can't be too bold about questions. So, you know, I've always just asked the questions like, you know, hey, what do you do for a living? And then I start talking about what I do for a living, just to keep the conversation going. But I sometimes feel a little awkward about asking them a specific question. So maybe that's something that I need to work on.
I have a question, and you might have answered it is there a minimum that you require to start working with someone?
I have a minimum because, quite frankly, it doesn't behoove somebody that are just starting out to use somebody like me, because you'll end up paying more in fees than you would, because I'm in a fee-based company right now, where before I did both fee-based and I did commissions. So I always say that people who are just starting out get a self-directed like IRA through Charles Schwab or someplace like that, because you can place the trades and do some investing, minor investing yourself, and do a 30-minute consultation with people like me and pick my brain before you do it. Because I'm happy to let people know what I know. So yeah, so I do have a minimum, but there's a lot of advisors that don't. So
Karen, are you building a clientele in Arizona as well?
Yeah, so I brought over all of my clients that I wanted to bring over when I moved from the large firm that I worked for. And then now I'm slowly bringing on clients in the Arizona area. Yeah, but I'm licensed, and because I'm commission based, I'm licensed everywhere to do business. So it doesn't matter where you live.
So just a curiosity question, are you finding temperament of clients different in Arizona than Washington, than Idaho? Is it, in terms
Well,
of?
what I'm finding is it's a different demographic. So you all are younger and more of my people, and I live in a 55 plus community. And these are people that are all in their 70s and 80s. And so they usually have a financial advisor already. So what's made it kind of different and a little bit harder for me is being able to get my foot in the door and then do a comparison for them, like I did the other day for a client of mine who's with Raymond James. And I did a comparison and I showed him that I could save him. He's paying, on top of the 1% commission that he pays to his advisor, he's paying 0.43% internal fees to his funds, and I can get it down to 0.06. So if I could get my foot in the door and do a comparison for somebody, I can show them how, if they move their assets under management to me, that they would save money. So I'm all about that.
Great. Thank you.
That's good to know. What part of Arizona are you in?
So I'm in kind of a suburb of Phoenix. So I live in Surprise, and it's west of Phoenix, about 45 minutes.
Okay.
West
Yeah,
of
my
New York.
parents are in Sun Lake down in Chandler.
Yep.
And so I didn't know if you were down there in their communities.
Oh yeah. I mean,
There's like 9 of
basically
them.
the greater Phoenix area is Chandler, Gilbert, Scottsdale, Buckeye, Goodyear, everywhere,
Mhm.
Peoria, Surprise. Yeah.
Wait, so the city's name Surprise? I've learned something.
Mhm.
It's called
Mhm.
Surprise. I live in Surprise, Arizona.
Mhm. Yeah, they almost moved to Surprise, but then settled on Sun Lake.
Okay. Any other questions for Karen? Okay, what we're going to do now is honestly something that's really flipping cool, and it separates PNA Northwest and in general digital PNA from any other networking organization out there. We do what's called a speech breakout. So I'm fully accepting any oohs and ahs as I bring up the slide here. But what we do, the purpose of this is to now go deeper into Karen's presentation. It's a bit of a mind trick. It's Karen's opportunity to sit back, put her shoes up on the counter if she needs to. She literally will figure out in the first few minutes if we've been paying attention. But at the same time, it allows us to dive deeper and really help identify what we just experienced, because every time a speaker presents, we are an extension of his, her, or their sales force, right? We are listening for factors that we can then take into work into our verbiage or be out there and listening, for those types of opportunities. So let's talk about target market, what people and or businesses would need Karen's services. Feel free to take yourself off mic if you've got some input there. Give us an idea.
People getting a divorce or thinking about leaving their partner, like they just, because she specializes in divorced people.
Yep. A lot of things need to be divided, assets, things along those lines. Okay. I think Karen actually mentioned this, but I love that fact that, again, I think I heard her say that she wants to work with other CPAs and bookkeepers because they have a client base that might need her expertise. People don't often talk about specific categories like that, but definitely.
Yeah. And I guess in the same category of things, potential probate, state lawyers that usually are talking to people who now have more than they had, 10 minutes ago. Things can happen quickly.
Yeah, CPAs, bookkeepers, estate planners, they all have access to people's money, right? They see their money, they see what wealth they have. So those are always good centers of influence for me.
Yeah, and you've essentially mentioned it, but people who are coming into money by way of a death in the family.
Yep.
We willed X amount of dollars.
Inheritances, yep.
Often they go on spending sprees and do a whole bunch of stupid. So it'd be great if they turn around and figure out how to diversify that, maybe have a little bit of a reward system, but still set up a trust or something, for crying out loud. Do that through Karen.
Well, I would stray away from the death and divorce here. Maybe look for something a little more positive too, like people who have just changed jobs. A lot of times they have retirement vehicles that they need to roll over, before they start their new job. Up here, since you're from here, one of my friends is a Raymond James guy, and he works with a lot of people in the tech community who are often bonused with the restricted stock units
Yep.
and different things like that. So when people are, moving up and moving on in their career, I think that's a good time to try to get a hold of them, and those would be a good target market, in my humble opinion.
It's actually a great point, Heath. I heard once that upwards of 30% of people that change jobs leave a 401k behind. Don't realize that it's no longer being contributed to. It's just sitting there. It's not rotting, right? It's still there, but it's definitely not growing and being managed. So that's another example perfectly of where Karen could come in and do good things, right? Okay, let's move on to the next portion here. As you see, key conversations. As we're out and about, as we're scouring social media, as we're thinking about Karen, when these opportunities, rise up, what triggers a referral? What comments should we be out there listening for, or looking, acknowledging, therefore referring people to Karen? By the way, that wasn't a trick question. It's not everything we just said, but with a question mark, but kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
I think, thinking about my clientele, working with a lot of adult children who are helping their parents find long-term care, often will have this realization that they need to be thinking about their financial situation in planning for their future, when they realize just how expensive it can be. So I think, in that context, someone saying, gosh, it really makes me sit back and consider my situation, my financial situation.
Excellent. Great feedback. Thank you, Amy. Anyone else? And again, we have kind of covered this to an extent. And I can toss this one back to Karen. Karen, is there anything that in particular you find of value, not unlike Marcel's little tangent that she hit you with? Is there anything that we should be on the lookout for that you often find really does trigger that direct referral?
Well, so like if somebody says I'm house rich and cash poor. So I have people that I work with that can help people tap into the equity in their house, because there's a huge segment of adults, like boomers, that have a lot of equity in their houses, and there is a way to use that equity to further your retirement, to pay for long-term care, to set yourself up to work with someone like Amy to get into assisted living or those types of things. So that's a good one.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Next section, beneficial syndications. Where should we be either helping her syndicate, or where do you think she should have a presence that maybe she doesn't? Whether that's directing specific types of videos so we can help traffic out there, social media, again, she may or may not be in, community groups, or even sponsorships, right? Local schools maybe have an event. Karen can turn around and sponsor an event or co-sponsor or be part of to help get exposure. What do you think, folks?
Well, and I actually just met Marcy at a thing called Networking Riches, or maybe it was the speed networking, but I feel like Karen would really benefit that community that Casey runs over there. So I'll invite you to the next one, Karen.
Okay.
And actually that'd be good for any of you guys on the call. I'll share about it later this week.
Thank you. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, talking about community groups, it would be beneficial for you, Karen, to set up some small group, either luncheons or meetings or educational. Make it fun and interesting, but find out who knows how much about the market or not, so that if you're talking to elderly people, and some people know a lot about the market and they'd really want to be talking about advanced subjects, and even cryptocurrency they're going to bring up. And some others would be, well, refresh me on the basics, because they hadn't had, maybe they lost a spouse and they don't really have someone to connect with on a personal basis. So they would need some extra nurturing. But you've got you know, in your community, you've got a great opportunity to do that. Don't you?
Well, oh yeah. Sorry, I was going to piggyback on what Marcy was kind of talking about, and I know you're down in Arizona, but I know that the bank that I actually bank with for both personal and business is KeyBank, and I met with them, and they do have they're doing something for like women, where they're having like a once a month type of seminar, and for women and women business owners. I was trying to think if there's something like that locally at the banks. I don't know if it's a conflict because it's banking and financial. I would think it would be separate, right? Because
Yeah,
investments are, yeah. But I know that some of the other women that have partnered with the bank, they've been able to do, you know, like lunches or smaller events locally to bring in, you know, it doesn't have to be just for women, but
yeah, because I know that
thought.
KeyBank doesn't actually do financial, they don't have financial advisors. So that's why
Right.
I had a KeyBank guy approach me right before I moved. It's like, dang.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Well, and
we're actually starting a group here locally, me and Lynn Reifert. It's for women that are 50 plus, because we feel like the networking that we need to do in our age group is a little bit different, and the speakers that we need to have. So I'm going to be like the premier financial advisor for that group. So I will be doing things for these women, financial tips. Here's what you can do as a business owner, blah, blah, blah. So yeah.
Well, and I have a random thought, and Brian will know because he's been in the know. There's another part of my life that I'm heavily involved in, but it's pickleball. And I just,
I know.
when I think of like the community and the amount of women that are involved with pickleball, I just think like, if you don't play, I think you should start and then start going in with that. I mean, it's just a totally random side thought, but it's,
no, it's great though, because pickleball is huge here. I mean, because it's a retirement community, tennis, pickleball, just any type of activity is like, yeah.
Yep.
Plus, you can use the rackets to fend off the scorpions, for crying out.
You need black lights for those.
Well, and because those pickleball people are going to live longer than the rest of us, they're going to need to invest a longer time, because they might actually hit 100, right? So there's some fun marketing messaging around the whys and the fit. Great idea, Mara.
All right, so folks, if you have any other feedback for these first 3 sections, I want you to put it in the chat window. It's all being recorded. Marcel actually acts as the scribe, for lack of better words, and translates all the stuff we put in the chat window, and then emails it out subsequently. Let's talk about other business categories can we bring into this digital P&A chapter, for lack of better words, but also in this case, this might specifically provide value to Karen and what she spoke about today.
Yeah, banker comes right to mind.
Sorry, Siri just called me. Can you repeat that, Heath, for posterity?
I said a banker, you know, immediately comes to mind.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. If only we had someone that helped the Silver Age-ish community, that would be a business I'd love to see join digital. Any other ones that we can think of?
Well, I have one more, you know, that's sort of parallel to banker, but there are people in the financial services industry that sort of specialize now in the reverse mortgage. And I don't know what the restrictions are on the funds that come from those, but I would imagine some of them could be put back into the market.
Yeah, that's why I partner with a husband and wife team here that specifically does HECM reverse mortgages, which is home equity consolidation mortgages, which is backed by FHA. So it's government backed, and a lot of people don't know about it.
Yeah.
Great call, Heath. Karen, just because of time, let me toss this back on you. Are there other businesses that you want us to be on the lookout for and subsequently invite to Digital P&A?
Well, I would really like to get with Amy, because not only is that like a good area for me, but only because I have an aging parent and I need to figure out how to get some in-home care for him and maybe light housekeeping. And I don't even know who to talk to in this area. So maybe you might have someone in Arizona that could help with that. So that's a big thing for around here. So if I could open a conversation with people, hey, with the young adult, kids of the people around here that I know that may be going through that, and I can say, oh, call Amy. So it could be a good, even though you don't live down here, you might have a place I can tap into. So
awesome. Okay. Karen, thank you.
There is one idea that I had, but I don't know if anything exists out there like this, but it would benefit, I think, Karen and me. Because the previous company I worked for had a department called FP&A, so Financial Planning and Analysis. And basically it's someone that can forecast a business, as far as their cash flow and everything else. I don't know if there's anybody that runs a business out there like that, but it would be really cool if, we can find someone that does that. Because so many businesses don't know how to budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. I personally don't even know where to start with that, but that is something that we could kind of all put our sleuth hats on and see if we can uncover that. Great idea. Okay, so real quick, I guess it kind of got cut off there, but I want to bring up this slide versus doing a share screen because frankly, I'm tired of going back and forth. This is a sampling of some of the other business categories that, in all honesty, could become of value to each and every one of you. You might also notice that to an extent, Rosie is technically in here as a bookkeeper, but she's becoming, trained and certified to do CPA-based work. Digital PNA is actually open category. We're not doing that because we're mean. It's because there can be overlap and there can be opportunities to share and or quite honestly compete for the business and not just be quote unquote guaranteed the opportunity. But these are specific categories that we really want to see because, as always, and again, they're simply already working online. They're selling online, shipping online, coaching online, etc. And they don't necessarily need to be tied down to a specific zip code or demographic. So if you're out and about and you look and or find or just jump onto LinkedIn and ask about these are people that we want to meet. Amy, you just put estate attorney. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Some tend to be kind of demographic based, but at the same time, the whole state of Washington, yes, of course. Great call. So again, that's just a little idea there. I'm going to bring my noggin back up. Apparently, I'm in black and white. That's weird. Again, the joy of technology.
You look so pale, Brian.
I'm a little pasty. I'm already pasty. What is
Are you feeling okay?
There we go.
All right. Are we at testimonials and referrals?
We're getting there. Yeah, referrals or testimonials. This is where we give one if around the room if you have one. A referral obviously is whether it's an inside referral, you need something from someone here in the proverbial room, or outside you referred outside, or you can say something nice about someone. So I think Marcel wants to go.
I think Marcy wants to go. You go first, Marcy.
I know in Surprise, Arizona. How long have you been there, Karen?
I've owned a house here for almost 4 years. I've lived here since December of 2022, so a year and a half.
You've been there for a while. Okay.
Okay, I'll go next. So I just want to say thank you, Karen, for letting me feature you on my publication this last month. And part of the thank you here is I was in another networking group, just literally in tears about like a local death that happened that was just so unfortunate. And I was like, ladies, we need to know our numbers. We need to pay attention. And Karen actually gave me some great advice on how even the military are trained to like prevent human trafficking and or foul behavior. And from a financial perspective, I know that financial abuse is a real thing and people do not know how to protect themselves. So part of the article where she just taught me all these other things to look for. Anyway, so she is a wealth of knowledge. And if you guys have 2 to 5 minutes, check that out, flip through it. And then if you like it, share it, because that way Karen will get instant recognition from people in your network. And we want her to to grow her business because, you know, ladies and gentlemen need her specialty.
Definitely.
So thanks for being awesome, Karen.
Thank you, Marcel. Anyone?
And
For interviewing me.
I would say thank you to Heath. He sent me 2 referrals in the last month. So you're on my like, thank you so much. I need to send you a gift card or take you to lunch or something list. So thank you.
All right. Anyone else?
I want to thank Brian and Marcel for coming to Olympia this last week. So they got up early, trekked it all the way to Olympia, got to meet the people there, and I will say they all like you, Brian. So you did a good job.
I was worried. Thank you.
No, seriously, thank you for coming. I think it helps. It helps them, I think, realize what PNA truly is about and how it's separate from all the other networking groups and how we're way better than all the other ones.
So cool. Yes. Anyone else have a referral or testimonial? I have a couple, but I'll wait till the end.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you to Marcel for featuring me in her magazine. And I would love it if you guys would just kind of flip through the magazine. It doesn't take long. Her magazines are really easy to read. And if you could share it, that would be great. But Marcel's always great about looking at things and trying to connect the dots. And she's always saying visuals. And I started my PowerPoint on Monday and I was like, it was all words. And I was like, wait a minute, I need to do pictures. So I started inserting pictures and then the words were on the note slide. It's like, okay, good. I'm starting to learn the stuff that Marcel's teaching us.
That's awesome. That's great. Anyone else? Okay, cool. I want to say a few things. Oh, wait, Marcel's like, oh, what?
Well, I also wanted to thank Marcy. So earlier this morning we were networking and I get on the Zoom and my eyes are like this. And she's like, dear, I can't see your eyes. And she taught me this trick where you like kind of tilt your glasses up. So now you can see my eyes. Isn't that cool? So thanks, Marcy. Like it was like an instant win.
Find glasses, quick. That's awesome. Okay, here's a quick laundry list. I want to thank Karen because I know she cares about presenting and she cares about doing quality presenting. And Karen, I love you to death. And I know I can be honest with you and not have you reach through the screen and choke me. But we've seen Karen's presentations over the years and they've gotten so much better. They've gotten great and you have energy and you care about your field. And your field terrifies me. Your world of numbers and smart things, I'm like, yeah. And you make it listenable and watchable and understandable. And that is really, really key. And it also shows your integrity because you take the time to explain those things. I wish you were still local because I would love to have you in front of kids, including mine, who have the father, which is again, so they need all the help that they can get. So come back soon. Rosie, for anyone who doesn't know Rosie yet on this call, get to know her. I call her Bulldog because when I give her a lead, she grabs it and shakes it and like just have to. She's a brilliant bookkeeper and her husband actually helps with some of the CPA related functions. If you refer to her, you're going to be in good hands. And she's also now, we liked her so much in this area. We moved her down south to the Olympia-ish area and she turned around and opened up a PNA chapter and she's rocking it. So that's where Marcel and I went. It was great to see her lead and shine. I love that. Amy and Mara, I was going to connect you two anyway, because Mara has some services that Amy, some of your clients might benefit from. So that is right now a referral. I want you two to connect, have coffee, virtually, physically, whatever, and find out ways that you might be able to become strong referral partners for one another. I love this. This excites me. I referred Marcel to OLP, which is Christina's company that she works for, and they're working together now. Love it. I also referred Marcel a few weeks ago to Karen and Amy's company, Silver Age, and they're now working together. Love that so hard. So this is why we do this. And Marcel does incredible work. If anyone needs assistance with scripting, video, doing the actual storyboarding, figuring out ways to syndicate above and beyond anything we cover here in Digital PNA. She's an absolute rock star. And actually, Mara, I referred you to her, and you're working together. So hot diggity. Anyway, you're all made of complete magic and unicorn dust. And I just want to say thank you for following through with referrals, because that doesn't always happen. And now business is being generated because of that. So that just makes me stoked. Okay, anyone else have anything regarding that? Okay, moving back to sharing screen. I know you all love this so much. It blinds out my complexion. I'm already Pacific Northwest pasty. Okay, as you all experienced today, speakers and Digital PNA have 20 minutes maximum. They don't always have to use it, but we love it when they do. So if you're a guest here, please come back or consider that and bring all your friends. July 3rd, Marcel, then Mara will be up again. Mike, who had to leave just a few minutes ago, and then of course me. So this is twice a month, the first and third Wednesday of each month from 12 to 1:30 Pacific time. And I kind of always actively joke here, but if you do feel like you just spoke, that's because we currently have 6 members. So if you want it to be a longer speaker rotation, let's get some more bodies here on a regular basis. So there's that. And then if it'll switch forward here. For anyone who's local, unfortunately, at least 2 of you on the call right now, or 3 are not local, but Marcel and I also take seriousness and throw it out the window. We do run a monthly comedy event. So again, if you're local, that's coming up in July. Great lineup. Adam Tiller, who is our headliner, he's working on getting his own Comedy Central show. So these aren't just tiny little people that come up and squawk at the mic. These are folks that are making, national headway. And then again, if you're reasonably local in the sense that Rosie is, a good hour and a half plus or minus away, we do have our summer picnic every single summer. It's a hoot. We'll put the link in the chat window. So if you can make it, definitely please do. It's BYO Dish, not because we're cheap. It's because we have a really culturally rich environment now of almost 100 members throughout the 12 chapters in Pacific Northwest. And that means we've had some amazing dishes that people bring. Yes, I supply the burgers, the dogs, and the buns and the drinks, but everything else shows up and it completely takes over, and it's a lot of fun. So we encourage you to try to show up. That is it for the slides. I know that makes everybody happy. It makes me happy. So where is local? That's what you put in the chat screen. Christina, we are local as far as, frankly, where PNA is. It's in the Bothell, Washington area. So that's at least the local hub, for lack of better words. And then we've got the locations spread out throughout the state, or the greater Seattle area between the current 12 chapters. 11 chapters, this one being 12, completely digital and online.
Yeah, and the digital chapter has no zip code barrier, and that was part of my goals. Like, those of us who don't have a brick and mortar, how do we get our content moving, out of our hometown into other cities or counties or states? And so that's part of the cool part of the diversity of this group here, is we're not all in Bothell.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me where the other chapters are, and also confirm with me the name of this group, because Marcel and I just talked earlier this morning. She just invited me to a webinar and I didn't ask any questions. I said, okay.
No, that's a great question. I just put the website in the chat window. The company is PNA, Professional Networking Association Northwest. And to give you an idea of the chapters that we have, I am having fun with screenshots right now, in case anyone can't tell what I'm doing. We have, well, we've grown. we've grown a lot, and that's mainly Rosie's fault because she had to scatter. This is our current coverage. It got cut off a bit, but we have Bothell, Everett, Kirkland, Linwood, Marysville, Mill Creek, Mukilteo, North Creek, Olympia, Shoreline, and Snohomish. And then Digital PNA, like Marcel mentioned, covers all of the state and Arizona, because we're taking props for having shipped Karen off to sunnier locations.
Yeah. And Marcy, just so you know that the Brian Pelham, the person I want to introduce you to, he's in the Everett, actually he's in the Mill Creek chapter, but they live in Everett. And so part of why I wanted you here is because this community, Brian is already a part of it. A lot of these people have actually heard about his invention and that product. So it's all just, we're all just trying to connect people. But I think there's a lot of people here that from a funding perspective may or may not need you in the next 6 months. So
How long has this group been around? When was it started?
Great question. PNA Northwest itself has been around since 2002. I purchased it right before COVID, so yay, timing. So that was interesting, but I took it from 3 chapters to where it is now since then. And DigitalPNA was, again, Marcel's idea when she came to me and complained about not getting enough out of her current chapter. And I said, okay, please don't hurt me. DigitalPNA has been around for 2 years now.
yeah, I think we're in the 3rd year.
Okay, yeah, it would be good if you spread out to other areas, not just Washington.
I
right?
plan on taking over the world. Yes.
That's why I like you, Brian.
Yeah. See, there are other organizations out there that have, you know, like ones that start with B and end with NI, or things like that. Those are dirty 4-letter words because they're too strict and too regimented. And again, I'm always open to spreading as far as I can, because what we do here is great. And the physical locations are so fun because people, Marcy, the best thing about any chapter is people like each other. I know that sounds funny. I'm not even trying to be funny. They develop relationships first, friendships first, because the reality that the other big ones won't tell you is you're not going to refer to people you don't like. It's really that simple, and it's a truth. And when people are sick, they get flowers sent to them, or Marcel shows up and sings songs. I mean, crazy stuff, whatever.
Oh, come on, Marcel.
You would, though, if we asked.
Brian's the karaoke guy. I just give you big hugs.
It's just it's a remarkable atmosphere in every location because of just that, what I just outlined. And actually, Amy's one of our newest members in one of the chapters. Amy, give us your 2 cents worth. Totally putting you on the spot, and I'm so sorry. But tell me what your experience has been so far with PNA.
Yeah, well, I guess I have to preface it by saying that I have recently made a career shift, a pretty significant career shift out of nonprofit social work into the for-profit world. And I'm not gonna lie, there's been kind of a daunting aspect to the differences between the 2 worlds. But I think that being a part of this PNA Northwest it's a very welcoming community to have kind of landed on this doorstep. And thankfully I have a colleague who was plugged in, and so she got me plugged in. But PNA has just been a very welcoming community for me as not just a new member, but as new to a whole different field of work. I feel like I'm building connections pretty quickly. I feel like I can ask the questions that I have, and no shame, no judgment. But also that what I bring is welcomed. So yeah, it's been a really good experience, and I'm still very much wet behind the ears, but PNA is making that a easier transition than not. So
Awesome. Amy, I'll Venmo you $20 later. Thank you.
How often do you meet, Brian?
The physical locations are weekly for an hour. So it's a very fast-paced, exciting, and basically it's basically a rumble. One prepared speaker for 8 minutes. And then everything else you experience pretty much happens there, but in a condensed format.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one, like I mentioned previously, is twice a month for 90 minutes. So.
Okay, so that's the first and third Wednesdays.
For DigitalPNA, yes.
For this group.
Yes. But for the physical locations, it's on whatever day fits the location and members weekly.
And is that just your group, or can other chapters be part of this online platform?
Any of the members in any physical locations can be part of Digital PNA.
Okay, interesting, yeah.
Of course. And I'm happy to take any more of these questions offline regarding that. I know that you're in a different part of the country. Are you Connecticut? Do I remember correctly from hearing about you? No.
Well, I was in Hollywood, but I'm really in the San Fernando Valley now.
Oh, okay. So you're in our time zone. Gotcha.
Which is greater Los Angeles area.
Yes, wonderful, beautiful area, and not on fire currently. So excellent. Okay, Marcel, you've been given a question in the chat window. Take about 2 minutes before we wrap up and answer that. See if you can answer it in 2 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and close out for the day.
No, that's a topic that I want her to present on if she
Oh,
would.
it's a topic. Oh,
Thank you, because I'm wrapping up the minutes. You guys will all get an email in the next 5 minutes with everybody who put their information in there. So if not, it'll be on the website for the members. We have all of our information publicly listed. So you'll get minutes. And then just thank you again for bringing a video today, because that's one of the big benefits of Digital PNA is if you bring a video, we're going to share the video and we'll give you feedback on maybe why we were hesitant, which will help you become a better video maker, because sometimes they're just not worthy. And we all, like, I see my stuff and I'm like, oh shoot. Anyways, thank you guys for being here. Karen, great job today. Marcy and Christina, thank you for being a guest today. And Amy too, you were a guest, right? But you already feel like family because you're in the Linwood chapter. And Heath, great to see you. And I'm just wrapping it up for Brian because I had the floor.
I double everything Marcel said, and I keep saying Marcel or Marcy now. I'm getting it mixed up. It's starting to It was great to meet you, Christina. It's great to meet you, Marcy. Thank you for coming today, Amy, and everyone else. Have a wonderful rest of your week. It's hump day. Let's go be awesome for 2 more days, okay? All right. We'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.
Thank
See ya.
you. Thank you very
Bye.
much.